Welcome back to the channel. My name is A-Bomb. We are back with another Football Manager video. We're back in FM19 after Friday's FM09 simulation video. We've got another simulation video today, but we're staying in Football Manager 2019. But this time we've got a very special database, which has been created by someone called TheMadScientistFM. And the work that he's put into this and the effort and time he's put into this is like second to none. I mean, there's some people out there doing some incredible work on Football Manager as well. Mad Scientist being one of them. I've got to give a shout out to Laura as well, who I think is now known as Chilled Moose, but she used to be What the Thought Gaming, for creating a country in Football Manager. That's just insane in itself. So this database is set in the 2003-2004 season. So we are 15 years in the past, and we are going to have a look at this season here, and then after that we're going to simulate to the present day. So we're going to see if this database 15 years in the future can maybe get some things right. We'll see how different it is to present day, much like we did with simulating FM 10 years. We're going to see what's happening in, I guess, an alternate version of 2019. So just a reminder of how things were back in what is July 2003. I know it says 2018 there. Unfortunately, it's not physically possible for the game to actually say that it's 2003. So when we do simulate to what would be 2019, it's going to say 2034. So hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. But the Premier League, or the Premiership as it was known in 2003-2004, it's got Aston Villa up here, Birmingham, Bolton still here, Charlton Athletic, Leeds United up here, and they got relegated in 2004, and that was the last time they were in the top flight. But they're close to it. They might do it this year with Bielsa. If we go down to the Championship, you can see some of the First Division it was called here. I think this was the last season to be called the First Division before 04-05, where it got renamed I think it was the Coca-Cola Championship. So down here, Bradford are here, Burnley, any surprises? Crewe are in the First Division, Walsall are here, Wimbledon are here in what I think was their last season, and then they got relegated and then renamed MK Dons, I think, or they got moved to MK Dons. So if you were to do a save, see if you can revive Wimbledon. That would be a really cool thing to do. Or just keep Leeds in the Premier League and see if we can do stuff with them. I guess that's one of the two things you could do. But I don't know if I'll do a save in this or not. I don't know if I'll have time with Dynamo as well and a second channel. But if I've got time, I might do something with it. But for now, we're just going to do this. Let's go down to what would be the second division, but it's League One here, because I think he's only made it so you can manage in the Premiership and the Championship, which is fine. I mean, he's put in enough work as it is. I don't expect him to have every single league loaded. But League One, you've got Bournemouth down here, of course, in the Premier League in real life. Brighton, Rushden and Diamonds are down here, and they don't exist anymore. Queen's Park Rangers, Stockport before they fell down the football leagues. Same with Luton as well. Luton were in, second division before they started getting relegated and their financial troubles. In League 2, we've got Boston United up here. You've got Darlington, Kidderminster, Northampton are here. Swansea in, what's the third division? That's incredible. Look at this Swansea team. Roberto Martinez playing for Swansea. Not managing Swansea, playing for Swansea. That's great. So Man United are the holders of the Premier League title. Of course, they won it a lot under Alex Ferguson. As you can see, Arsenal have won it a couple, but for the most part, United have dominated the 90s as they did. And the Man United squad then in 2003, Tim Howard in goal. I mean, look at this defence. I mean, Roy Keane's at centre-back, which seems strange to me, but Phil Neville at 26 at the top of his game. You've got Nicky Butt. You've got Ryan Giggs at 29. Forlan when he played for Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo at 18 years old. He's just signed from Sporting. So this is Ronaldo as he's just arrived at Manchester United. I wonder if he'll stay with them, because in the 2009 database, he stayed with United and he didn't go to Madrid. So I'm interested to see if that happens again. Will he stay with United for 15 years? Wayne Rooney at this point, still at Everton. So I wonder what will happen with him. Is he going to stay at Everton? Van Nistelrooy is here as well. And, Van Nistelrooy looks extremely good. And was this the season he joined? No, he's been here for a couple of years at this stage, but he's had two really, really good seasons. Van Nistelrooy looks immense. I mean, look at those physicals. Let's have a look at Arsenal, because this is the season that Arsenal had their invincible season. They did not lose a single game. They've got, of course, Lehmann in goal. Got like Lauren at the back, Clichy, Ashley Cole's here. Kolo Toure Lundberg, Sol Campbell at 28, Vieira, Thierry Henry, I think is the best player at this point. So Henry in 2003 finished second in the Ballon d'Or, beaten by Pavel Nedved, who's 31, and Paolo Maldini at 35 was the third best player in the world. So Henry looking like one of the best players in this database, definitely. Let's look at my team. Let's look at Liverpool and let's see who they've got. So Dudek in goal at this point. Jamie Carragher at 25. Michael Owen playing up front. This was peak Michael Owen, and that 04 was when I really got into football, was watching every week sort of thing. So Michael Owen at this stage at 23 was just amazing. This was just last season with Liverpool before we went to Real Madrid, and then of course after that went to Newcastle. So also in this team, this was when they had Barros, Gerrard at 23, who I don't think had quite become captain at this point. I think it might have still been Huppier. Who else can we look at? What other teams? We should look at Chelsea. Well, Chelsea money bags at this point. Roman Abramovich is here, so they have started to get the money in, but I don't know if they've actually started spending big yet. But they've got John Terry here at 22, Frank Lampard at 25, 21-year-old Joe Cole, Mutu, Good Johnson, 18-year-old Glenn Johnson. I could look at this all day, I really could, but I really need to sort of get going and simulate this. Before we simulate, let's look at like one or two abroad teams. So Real Madrid, like 2003 Real Madrid, we're talking like Galacticos Real Madrid here. Roberto Carlos, David Beckham, Zidane, Ronaldo, Figo, Raul. And lastly, I think we'll look at AC Milan because they are the holders of the Champions League. And again, this AC Milan team was just absolutely immense. Dida and Albiati, the keepers. Nesta at 27. Maldini, as we've mentioned before. Cafu. Pirlo at just 24 years old. Seedorf's here. Kaká. Rivaldo. Inzaghi. Shevchenko. AC Milan, they just dominated Europe at this stage as well. If we look at their Champions Leagues, they won in 03. And then, of course, they won in 07 as well. Runners up in 05. So AC Milan have been doing incredible stuff as well. So I think we've looked at 03 for long enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simulate 15 years into the future. So 2019 May, Spurs have won the league. That's interesting. That's the first time they've won it seems. 84 points. United in second. I mean, the top five there is pretty predictable. It's maybe not in that order, but the top five is, I think, what you'd expect. Your Leeds United still here in sixth place. They get the what's still called the UEFA Cup, but at this stage it would be the Europa League. Charlton also qualified for the Europa League. There's been a lot of different winners. 5 different winners in 6 seasons, which is good because it's not always that competitive in England, so that's really nice. So we'll have a look at the past winners in a minute. The top scorer, there's a lot of regens in here, but Ronaldo is still at Manchester United. Unless he's gone and come back, which he hasn't. Ronaldo stayed here for 15 years. And he's still amazing at, 34 years old. But he stayed here and he's been solid throughout. Apart from one season and his most recent season, he's got double figures every year. Any other real players down there? Luis Suarez is here and he's at Arsenal. Did they pay that £40 million and £1? No, they paid 18 million in... What year would that have been? He must have just started out on this game because it started on 2018. So Suarez must have been like 15 at this stage. What is he now? 32. So he would have been 17 years old at the start of this. He's moved to Arsenal there, which would have been, I think, 2014, which is when I think Arsenal bid that stupid £40 million and £1. So Galatasaray at that time. Except he went to Everton. What on earth? Suarez, come on. Any other real players down here? Sergio Ramos at Chelsea. There you go. Ramos at 33. Has been at Chelsea for 10 years at this point. 53 million. He went to Southampton for 3 years. That's... This is weird. We'll work our way up then. So 2004, Arsenal won. Not too many surprises there. And then Man United won it by 11 points. Arsenal finishing second place. Then Arsenal won it back again. And then they retained it. And Man City managed to break into the top 4. Then Man United won it back again. It's the Man United and Arsenal show apparently, but that's a pretty standard top 5. That's like, apart from Villa being 6th, that's pretty much today's league table. Villa and Everton may be the only anomalies there. Then Man United won it again, and Charlton managed to get into the European places. Newcastle up there as well. And then Man United won it again. Villa and Charlton in Europe. Not too many sort of surprises down here. Very much the same sort of teams, the usual suspects. Man United won it again. Cardiff made their way up here but went back down. And then United won it again. And then United won it again. So United just continued their dominance under, I'm assuming Ferguson's still there, but we'll have to wait and see. And then Chelsea won it in 2029, which would have been, I think, 2014. And then Liverpool won it in, I think that's 2015. So haven't had to wait as long as we have in real life. But hopefully it'll happen this season. We'll wait and see, even though City are ahead of us. But looking at the rest of the table, not too many surprises. Liverpool retaining the title. Queen's Park Rangers made it up here. And then Arsenal won it. And then Man United won it. And then Spurs have just won it. But the rest of the table's been pretty predictable, I think. But you can see United spell a dominance, winning it 6 years in a row. Chelsea runners up 4 times in a row. But very much like same sort of teams, really. There's not been too many surprises. Spurs finally winning the league. It's good to see. All right, let's have a quick look at some of the other divisions then. So Serie A, we've got Juventus winning it in 2003. And then from that, you've got Roma have won 5. AC Milan have only won 2. So Milan not doing as well. Parma won 1. That's nice. Parma winning a title. That's their first one, I think, isn't it? It is. They came third place a couple of times as well. So Parma did well in that season. But for the most part, it's Roma and Inter. Juve have won a couple. Not too many surprises other than that. Lazio have had a couple of third place finishes or a few. But Parma winning 1, that's nice to see. France is usually very competitive. It's not now. Monaco, oh my god, Monaco. I mean, they were nowhere to be seen in my FM09 simulations, but Lyon won a couple in a row. That was the start of their 7-year spell. They won a couple more, but since then, Monaco have won, 3, 6, 9, 12. Is that 14 years in a row Monaco have won it? So I don't know who they've got there. But PSG have been not far behind. It's just been PSG and Lyon, the runners-up. And then Marseille with some third-place finishes. Nantes got one. So who plays for Monaco then? I want to see this. Let's have a look at some of their older players, because they'll be the real ones. So Barraza, Veloso, Gerard Piqué's here at 32. Javi Martinez is here as well, 30 years old. But Monaco have just completely dominated. Who's their most expensive player? Lemoine, the striker. Who looks like a very good striker. Heading over to Spain, Real Madrid have just won it with 102 points. They've lost 2 and drew 3. As I expected, it's been the Real Madrid and Barcelona show pretty much. Although Valencia have won a couple since the start of the database. But pretty much Real Madrid and Barcelona won the most. Sociedad got a couple of third place finishes. Real Betis got one. Heading over to Germany. And Bayern have just won the title by a point. That's their 6th win in a row. Bayern and Dortmund have dominated again. Just continuing the dominance from before. Kaiserslautern were the last different team to win it. Couple of runners-up. Schalke, Wolfsburg, Stuttgart. Leverkusen got a couple of third-place finishes. But again, dominated by Bayern and Dortmund. Looking at the SPL, Celtic have just won it. Have Celtic and Rangers dominated? I can see Hibs won one. So Hibernian in 2028, which I think would have been 2014, the first different team to win it since Aberdeen in the 80s. They've had a couple of runners-up or a few runners-up places as well. Hearts finished second. Hearts, Hibs, Kilmarnock got a third place finish. Livingston, that was an 0-2, so no, that didn't happen on this. Let's have a look at the England football team. Steve Coppell is the England manager. That's an interesting one. Let's have a look at their senior team. And any real players left here? Wayne Rooney still in the England fold. Where does he play? He plays for Man United. So that did happen. It happened a bit later than it did in real life. It was about 5 years too late. But moved for 50 million. And still playing for Man United and doing extremely well. Gary Cahill playing for England at 33 as well. He's still here. James Milner playing for England. I mean, look at that. He should be green everywhere. He's that versatile. I can't believe it. It's like Milner's just such a good player. I love him. He's at Man United though, so don't love him as much as I used to now. But of course, started his career at Leeds. Had a loan season at Borough. Went there for a couple more seasons. Went to Birmingham. He's played for Everton and Manchester United and never moved to Liverpool. That's disgusting. Any other real players here? Stephen Taylor. Is that the Newcastle one? It looks like it. Yeah. he stayed at Newcastle for a while, but didn't get that many games. Now he's a solid starter for Charlton. And Charlton, I think, aren't looking too bad, actually. They're a top half Premier League side. So Charlton have stayed in the Premier League and they've been here like the whole time. So that's good for them. And Taylor is their captain. Few real players left in the England squad. Let's have a look at see how they've done in the tournaments. Of course, the FM09 simulation didn't have much success. They never got past the quarterfinals. We'll just have a look at the World Cups and we'll see what happened in them. So in this one here, 2022, they went out in the group stages, didn't do well. They lost to Brazil and Romania and drew against Korea. And then 2026, they were runners-up. That was very, very close. They lost to Brazil in the end. Beat Saudi Arabia and Algeria in the group. Only a 3-team group. That's really strange. And then a second round against Serbia and a third round against Argentina. Beat Germany on penalties. That's nice. And then beat Holland in extra time in the semi-final before losing 4-1 to Brazil. Yeah, this is when the World Cup moves to 48 teams. So only 3-team groups. And yeah, just a lot more matters. Move up to 2030. Didn't go too well there. They got through the group against Paraguay and Korea, but they lost 1-0 to Uruguay because of an own goal. That's unfortunate. Let's look at the Euros. When will the next Euros be? So 2020, I think this went to England, or it might have still been the one where it was hosted by various countries. I don't know. But they got through the group. They beat Macedonia, drawing against Scotland and Turkey, so just got through. Beat Poland in extra time in the second round before losing it on penalties to Spain. 2024... semi-finalists, they beat Norway, Belgium and Greece in the groups, beat Poland and then Hungary before losing to Germany. 2028, second round, losing to Scotland. That's not very good. But they beat Switzerland, Norway and Portugal in the groups. 2032, second round again, lost on extra time to Italy, beat Poland, drew against Scotland and lost against Portugal. Yeah, so the way this works is that the Euros and the World Cup are hosted by who they would have been hosted by in real life. So 2020 is the one where it was in, I think it's like 20 cities, it's 12 host nations. Spain won it, Denmark came second, and then Germany won in Germany, beating Spain in the final. The Netherlands won in Italy, beating Belgium, and then it was hosted by the Netherlands and Belgium again in 2032, who hosted Euro 2000, and Italy won that with Spain as runners-up. So the first World Cup on this was 2022, which stayed in Qatar. Brazil won it, Argentina came second, France came third, and then in 2026, which went to the USA, Canada and Mexico, which I think is the front runner in real life, or may have already got it, I don't know. Brazil defending the World Cup, the first team to do so since themselves in 1962. England runners up as we saw, and then the Netherlands came third, and then in Spain in 2030, France won the World Cup beating Belgium. Germany came third, so not too many surprises there. Alright, so let's have a look at some of the players that are still in the game then that haven't retired. So if we put age at least, if we say 30, then that should filter out the regens. If we sort it by value, and let's see who the best players are that are still in the game. So Jefferson Kevin as a regen, but Sergio Aguero is one of the best players. Plays for Arsenal, age 30, and he's been at Arsenal for a good few years, almost 10 years. Started off at Independiente, didn't go to Atletico at this time. Actually started off at Arsenal. He went to Arsenal pretty early, actually. Had a 3-year loan spell in Lazio where he did okay, but not spectacular. Messi, still at Barcelona, 31 years old. And he's doing incredible, as you'd expect from Lionel Messi. Suarez, we've had a look at. Sanchez at Man City. Ozil at Inter. Lewandowski's at Liverpool. What I want to look at, I want to try and find like a wonder kid. Who was a one? Freddie Adu. Where's Freddie Adu? Freddie Adu is at Real Madrid. Age 20. Okay, Freddie Adu has realised his potential. Oh, look at that. Freddie Adu, Real Madrid, and he's just got 15 goals this season. He got 33 goals in one season. He went for £69 million. If Freddie Adu's won a Ballon d'Or, I'm gonna burst out laughing. He won it 3 years in a row. I thought Bojan winning it on the other one was weird. Freddie Adu is a 3-time Ballon d'Or winner. I love it. I absolutely love it. So Mats Blom has just won it. Ronaldo came third though, a real player there. And then you've got Freddie Adu there, winning 3 in a row. Fernando Torres was runner-up that season. Rooney's there. Carlos Tevez was there. And he won it the year before. Freddie Adu coming third. 4 times in a row, Javier Saviola won it. Dagoberto's there. I'm not familiar with him. Adriano was runner-up. Henry came third that year. Mateo Kejman won it, playing for Barcelona. Saviola won another one. Raul coming second that year. He won a couple as well. Vieri coming third there, age 32. And Del Piero, age 30. Totti was the first player to win it on the since I started simulation. Of course, you've got Nevid winning it in 2003. So it was Bojan on the first experiment. It's Freddie Adu on this one. 3 times Ballon d'Or winner, Freddie Adu. That's insane. I love it. Alright, I think we've seen enough. I don't want this to be too long, but if there's anything I haven't shown you that you do want to see, then leave it down in the comments below. If there's something small, then I'll just let you know what's happened. But if I get a lot of responses, a lot of replies, then I might do a second video with this. So let me know what you want to see. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Mad Scientist FM for producing this, because it's a remarkable feat managing to do this. It's really, really cool. So yeah, well done. It's really, really cool. I know he's done some before. I think he did a 96-97 one in last year's game, and I think he's done one in the 1980s as well. I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, do drop a like down below, leave comments, and if you want to see videos as and when they're turning up on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to receive updates if I upload or go live, and follow me on social media so you don't miss any of my content. I'll see you in a video very soon. BFC Dynamo will continue as planned. But if you want to see more simulation videos, then let me know. I might do just some normal ones with the normal FM19 database, just see what happens in the next few years, in 10 years or 20 years. I know a lot of people do that, but see if I can put my own spin on it or something. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.